And that is a Lamborghini 4x4 super duper rocket booster. I think that one's called. It's a rocket super duper booster. It's got Pirelli tyres on it. Does that say something about Pirelli? Pirelli's very smelly on a Lamborghini spaghetti. Oh, I need to get some friends, really. No, maybe I can pay some people to like me. Oh dear. I don't think there's any real point in moto vlogging anymore. It's kind of dead, I think. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this video. I'm giving it a bit of a bash because I think what's more important is it's important to document your rides, because there's so many twats on the road today. There's so many people that don't know how to drive. And what's even more worrying is when you actually pull someone up on their shitty driving, they point the finger at you and say you're in the wrong, which is even more reason to have a camera. There's a turn in here actually at this junction, just down this road. There's a little T-junction where people are supposed to give way, and this lady pulled out on me, and I'm doing the sort of speed I'm doing now, so what I'm doing, like 25 and a 30, and this lady, maybe about a month or two ago, right here, she just looked right at me and pulled out, and I had to slam on the anchors. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, you've not bothered giving way, and you've just pulled out on me. And when I caught up with her in these lights, I just tapped on the window and said, like, what are you doing? She goes, you were speeding. I was like, I wasn't speeding. You've just pulled out on me and not given way. And she wouldn't have it. She wouldn't have the fact that she was wrong. And that's why I was like, do you know what? Fuck this. I'm getting a camera. I'm getting a camera and I'm documenting my rides, and do you know what, in the process I'll get a mic and I'll speak with you guys, if anyone actually watched these videos or not, I don't know. He hasn't got a number plate on the back of his bike, is he? He's up to no good. But ultimately I don't know if moto vlogging is still alive. But who knows? Oh, look at this gangster. Cheers, mate. Thank you. But the best part of it, like that bloke there, the best part of it, a lot of people that drive cars, in my opinion, when they see a bike, they're really courteous. They get out of the way, and they are really thoughtful. They don't really try and take up the road. They're pretty good when it comes to bikes, like giving way and getting out of the way and things like that, and particularly when I've commuted into London a few times, even more so, they're pretty good. So I don't know, what's the world coming to? I haven't got a fucking clue. Well, a few times that's happened. First to second is a bit shit. Anyway. Yeah, so my previous bike to this, I had a Triumph Speed Triple 2013, which was an absolutely fantastic bike. And actually when I test drove this, I test drove another two bikes, which was the GS1200 and also the s1000XR BMW. And after I test drove all three and I was riding back from the dealership on my Triumph, I was like, what am I doing selling this bike, like trading my old Triumph Speed Triple, because it's such a fantastic bike. It really is such a great bit of kit. And I've had the sports bikes, I've had the super sports, I've had all that stuff, and Oh, that's why I traded it in. But when I had that Triumph Speed Triple, I weren't finding I was doing much on it. It was sat in the garage quite a lot, and that's mainly because of the shitty weather here in the UK. And obviously we're just coming out of winter. We've got a month until spring, and I was kind of watching a lot of reviews on YouTube of people having the 1200 GS, and I was like, do you know what? I fancy a bit of that. Couple of panniers, put your shit in them, go away for the weekend into the mountains to see baby Jesus, and with a majestic sunset and all that sort of stuff. And I thought to myself, one Saturday I was bored. I was like, do you know what? I'm actually going to go to the BMW dealer, and I'm going to go to the BMW dealer and test drive one, just for some shits and giggles. And when I drove the GS, the 1200 GS, that thing is such an amazing bike. You feel so adventurous on it. If I could be so cheesy, you feel like you can do anything on that bike. The heated grips are 25 times better than the ones on these. They're as hot as the sun, as where these are just heated grips, but the ones on the GS are kind of much more special. And the thing is just amazing. But when I was riding it, I didn't get that yes, this is a machine. And the type of bikes I've always been riding have been super sports or super nakeds, litre bikes, you know, track days. That's kind of been the bikes that I've always been geared towards. And even getting the Triumph Speed Triple at the time was a bit like, am I ready to put the granddad hat on? And when I rode the GS, I just weren't blown away by it, really. It's a lovely bike. It was a lovely bike. And then I thought, do you know what? It's not fast enough for me, to be honest, for me, and the way I like to ride. I need something a bit more pokey. So when I was at the dealership, I said to the guy, look, I don't want to be a pain in the arse, but can I, just for my own sanity, test drive the BMW s1000XR? And he was like, of course mate, yeah, no problem. Threw me the keys, and instantly when I was on the s1000XR, I was on that for like 30 seconds to a minute, got up the road. Cheers mate, thank you. I got up the road and I just wanted to get off the thing. Honestly, I didn't even do a mile on it, and I was like, I need to get off this s1000XR. What a piece of shit. The reason is the vibration through the handlebars was painful. It was so uncomfortable. And the thing that not frustrated me, but it just completely perplexed me, is how BMW have let that bike go out from their showroom with that amount of vibration in the handlebars. It's absolutely ridiculous. I was like, there's no way I'm paying like 15 grand for that bike, or whatever it was. It was just disgusting, and that completely ruled it out. So I was like, well, you know, I'm not blown away by the GS. The XR is definitely out in my book. Nice one, mate. Look at this gangster. Thanks, mate. So yeah, and I said to the guy in the showroom, I was like, look, the s1000R is kind of going back to my old ways, but I want to give it a little go if that's right. It was like, yeah, no worries. Threw me the keys, and instantly when I got on this bike and I rode this, I was blown away. It was making me smile and giggle and laugh, and I instantly felt connected with a bike straight away. And I knew I could ride this a lot faster than my speed triple 100%, and also the fact that you can still do shit on this bike with the cruise control, and the heated grips makes it so comfortable. This bike is still got that like Jekyll and Hyde character, where you can go down the shops to get a pint of milk, but at the same time, if you want to, you know, become Valentino Rossi for the afternoon, it has that factor as well. I mean, look at this cruise control. This is so comfortable. I've got the heated grips on at the moment. Oh, this is such a comfy motorbike, and every time I get on it and ride it, I get more comfortable with it, and I'm just so impressed by it. I really am. I don't know how many times I could say I really am, but I really am impressed by it. Impressed by it quite a lot. So I'm running, I mean, my typical tyres that I run on my bikes, all of the bikes I've had, the tyres that I keep going back to are Pirelli Diablo Rosso Corsa 2 tyres, and they're 3 compound on the back, 2 compound on the front. They are the best tyres I can find for a motorbike, for my style of riding, and I'll let you research the tyre, but they're basically built for hard road riding. So if you're like liter bike rider, if you're a liter bike rider and you ride quite hard, then you're probably going to get on very well with the Diablo Rosso Corsa 2s. I mean, this bike come with the Bridgestone s1000rs. Got to say, I'm not overly blown away by them, if I'm honest. They're not as confidence inspiring in my opinion. They're still great tyres. You're not going to have any gripes with them, and again, depending on your style of riding, it's all very subjective, but for me, I don't feel, and maybe it's because it's just psychological, but I don't feel as confident with these tyres as I do with the Pirellis. And now I'm just talking shit.